Look at this one, just busting in.
Hello.
This how
Welcome
she
on
busted
in.
to the class.
Hey,
Come join us.
Sabienta, come join us. Come join us.
How you doing? Looking all
Hey.
bright and excited.
How are you?
Good.
Sit down.
Sit down. No, here.
Okay.
Here, get all comfortable.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? Just talking about
I'm
class.
really gonna miss class. Like today is our last class.
Oh my gosh, I know.
I learned so much in Professor Gmar's class. He gave us that sense of empowerment. Funny, like that's our group name, empowerment.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I guess it was like a coincidence. Everything happened for
A reason.
a reason. I'm really gonna miss this class too. But I'm
What are you
taking him
gonna
next
miss?
semester for something else.
What are you gonna miss?
He was different. I mean, he is different. His like teaching structures are just like profound. It impacts you better. I don't know. I can't really
Put it in words.
put it in.
Yeah,
It's like you feel it
Exactly.
deep inside, but you don't know how to.
It's like a spiritual thing,
Yeah.
that's cool.
So
For me, coming into the class, I was like, African studies, I know about African history, but it gave me that sense that I could really change the world. I could actually go out and tell the world about certain things that us blacks go through. Certain
I'm
things,
being recorded.
certain things like that.
Oh, I'm
What are
sorry.
you talking about? I recorded?
Oh my god! Wait. Okay.
We can crop that. Okay, now keep going. We can crop that part out. Keep going.
Yeah, now I want to go out and just tell the black community, this is going on. So I really did learn a lot, and for us, we didn't just learn about African history. We learned about society as a whole, and it was just a beautiful thing.
I mean, I always thought that I kind of knew about African history, but it's not compared to what I've learned in his class. I always thought that slavery was behind us. Not saying racism was behind us, but it's just so close, And I feel like at any given moment, if we don't stand up and educate people about the past, that it will repeat itself, So I'm I love his class,
I never really believed in the past. I never saw the point of why do I have to recognize my past in order to move into my future to completely, states of time. And it's I don't know, he really brought to light that the past has to do everything with the future. The past makes you who you are. And I had never connected those two. So he really allowed me to just see other truths, And it's cool because I never felt judged either, which is another thing. You could speak freely in this class without...
It wasn't restricted.
Yeah, and it wasn't restricted, and he wouldn't criticize you. I mean,
I love that.
he would evoke different thoughts, of course, and he would pose questions and everything, and it was only to make you learn. It wasn't ever to degrade you or demean you or anything, which was really cool because a lot of professors lack that, and they define that they are the professor and you are the student. But in his class, it wasn't like that. It was ordered.
Equal.
Yeah.
You still have that level of respect and you know where he is, but it's like he came down to us to really dig
Help
something
us.
deep out of us. It wasn't like, I'm on this pedestal, I'm going to tell you a chapter and you read it and then I'm going to ask you the first questions. It was more like, let me come down and really have a one-on-one conversation.
About us in a way.
Yeah.
He didn't make it about himself. He made it about us. He made us comfortable about sharing personal things about our lives and the things that we go through.
I love that too because when I look at it, it was so many different walks of life in the classroom. And even though I know he may not agree with everything, he has his personal beliefs the same as me, he never made that evident. Okay, well, I feel this way, so you're wrong.
Right.
It was more like he would question you and try to get to the deeper root of. And even when he got there, he'd be like, okay, so do you think that plays out on why you feel that way? He would really make you stop and really think. And he even in some ways made a lot of people change the way they think just by digging deeper. Because some people feel a certain way, but they're ignorant to why they feel that way. You know, so
he was able, like, he helped in helping us to scratch the surface of things that, like, in society we see, oh, it's really nothing, but it's a big deal, you know. And like when we get into the roots of it, you realize, wow, I could actually be making a difference. I could actually be educating the people around me of what I've learned from his class, which knowledge is power, you know. And even though it's like overused, but it's the truth, you know. Knowledge empowers you, of course, because I'm no longer the same person that I was when I first came to this class. Like, I'm ready to tell everybody what I learned and like start a movement, you know.
I always see class excited. I'm like, guess what I learned?
I learned this today.
Instagram it, Facebook it, all
everything.
Twitter
starts with Twitter revolution.
It's funny how even the guests who came into the class
get involved
and even want to come back. Like even my auntie, she wanted to come back, but she goes to school also. But it was this week actually. She was like, you know what? I was like, what? She was like, I would love to sit down and speak with your teacher. And I was like, why? She was like, I love his thought process. I would like to just sit there and pick his brain. And I'm like, you know you're doing something big if a guest could come into the class and want to sit down and talk with you or even want to come back.
Because the class is actually very long, but like,
it's
worth it.
It's very
worth it.
I didn't even like care about the time.
Yes, we go overtime. We're supposed to get out 8:50 and many times we got 9:50, but it doesn't even bother me. It doesn't bother me because we get so deep in discussion, and so it's like you see the time, it's like, okay, we could keep on going.
You
know, like it's like we look at the time, but we're still sitting there talking because we get so deep, and it's like it interests you so much that it doesn't matter. Like I could honestly have that class all day, and I don't think it would ever bother me. I have a problem.
I thought we would have another week for the class, and then I come and he's like, oh,
Wednesday.
I'm like, wait, what?
I know.
What am I gonna do?
I feel the same way.
Those like videos were like crazy.
And how he opens your eyes to even just simple things that we overlook. Like you look at it, but I guess because it's become the norm, it doesn't dig that deep into you, or it's like you're picking it up, but you're not really picking it up. And when he puts it in perspective, you sit there and you're like, wow, I've kind of accepted this. I've kind of contributed to it being the norm.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? You don't rest. Many times we feel as though, okay, we're not really contributing. I'm not for that. But when you really do sit back and look and you put it to perspective, we've contributed a lot without even realizing, and we're making it okay.
It always starts with the seed. You plant it, constantly water it, watch it grow, and then eventually become a giant tree.
And then you try
and
to
then
fix
you
it.
realize, whoa, this is how much of an impact that I've had on other people. You know, and that's what he's doing. That's how I feel. That's what I feel he's doing for me and everybody else who takes his class.
It's almost like, not that we knew these things, you know, like certain things about, you know, prejudice or being discriminated against and everything. We were aware of it, but he really like sparked that fire to make us realize that, you know, like it can change. You know, and it's like you said, it's just become a norm, and we've accepted it. But with his teachings, and he's just so inspiring.
Because I remember reading something that says you accept the love that you think you deserve. You know, and in society, like there are a lot of people who think they don't deserve more than what society is giving them. You know, and then they can't, and even if they have the want to acquire more or better for themselves, a lot of them don't know how. And the first thing that starts everything is education. Education, especially in the Black community, because we're so smart, and we're so powerful, but because of the lack of resources that we don't have, it's difficult, but it's still possible. That's the thing.
Sometimes it's not even the resources. Because, for example, I went to Michael Crop, which is actually a pretty good school being in Dade. And a lot of the kids, like I've seen it myself, I'll go to class every day and barely make an A. They will skip many classes, come in, make an A like it's nothing. Like, okay, deuces, see you the next test. So some kids have it in them, but it's like they succumb to their environment. Right. They'll rather go with what the environment is doing, knowing that they can be better, knowing that they could do better. But I guess because it's just become so normal and it's what everybody else is doing and it's what they see or their father doing, they decide or choose to take that path. So sometimes it's not even the resources. I think it's not the right mentorship, not the right leadership in place to lead them. You know, many times, that's why even like my mom will always tell me, because I watch kids a lot, kids are going to do not what you say, but what you do. So you can tell them all day, but if you're not practicing what you preach, they're not going to do it. Right. It's the same thing. If you could tell a child something all day, but if you yourself are doing it, what are they going to do? Not what you say, but what you're doing. You know, and I feel it's that way. And sometimes when I look at things, I kind of look at it from a parent and kid perspective, or like that, because you have to treat a lot of things like that. In the Black community, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to do what you say. They're going to do what you do. So if they're seeing something else, they're going to follow that path. So I think it needs to be more mentors on top of education. Yes.
One thing for me, I'm sorry to cut you off, but like in high school, I would see Black people, and sometimes I do it at very young age. It's one thing about me, like I appeal to just about everyone: white people, Black people, Spanish people, Asians, and sometimes I would look at certain like Black people and I'd be like, ew, that person is so ghetto and Black, you know, like get away from me. And that wasn't good. That was actually very ignorant of me, you know, because at the end of the day, like, they're my people, you know. So I shouldn't have that perspective anymore. I no longer have that perspective anymore thanks to this class, you know. So it makes me want to embrace fellow Blacks as well. Not just Blacks, but people as well.
Like in general, I say the same thing, because sometimes we judge on the outer and we don't go in to see, because sometimes I'll see somebody like that, and when you go and talk to them, you find out, wow, they're very intellectual. And then sometimes when you go and talk to them, you find out that it's something deeper than that. It's a reason why they're putting on that persona. So sometimes I think we need to pull away from being like, ew, you're ghetto, or ew, you're acting so Black, and just have a conversation and see why, or share that knowledge with them. You know, because many times that's all it takes for somebody to step up and speak up or speak out or be the leader. If we just walk around and always be like, ew, you're ghetto, and walk away, it's not going to change. You know what I'm saying? Like, we do that, and that's why I say we contribute, because too many times we just walk away. It's like with the piece of trash on the floor. We know that we're trying to save the oceans, but yet we walk by trash and like, oh, ew, or do things that we don't even realize sometimes, you know, like, we just need to speak up and say something, just, you know, figure out why.